In this room we've got two very different interpretations artistically of the death of Wolfe. We've got the huge copy of the famous West painting, and we have a smaller copy of a painting which is after the Edward Penny, which was actually painted a few years before the West. It's probable that West's is quite, at least partly based on the Penny, but there are very, very significant differences. And to do that, to understand that, we need to kind of know a little bit about the records and the historical interpretations of the Battle of Quebec. And there was an officer at the Battle of Quebec called Knox, and he made a load of field notes and a load of records while he was at Quebec, and that's what a lot of historians' notes and a lot of historians' interpretations of the battle are based on. And it's also important because Edward Penny based his painting on these notes that Knox had made, and that's not something that West did. So clearly what you can see is that Edward Penny's painting is going to be more of a historically accurate, probably more intimate representation than West's is. And you can tell that from just looking at the paintings, because you can see the heroism and the kind of the drama of West's against the more simplistic and the more intimate representation that Edward Penny's created. There are very few people clustered round Wolfe in the Penny painting. It's a lot more kind of low scale, it's a lot simpler. Whereas you've got this very, very importantly composed painting by West, which is a lot more heroic and a lot more dramatic. And that's where the main contrast between these two paintings comes from. It's worth saying that Penny's painting wasn't quite as popular as West's when it first came out, probably because of the lack of drama. Because after the Battle of Quebec, the British public and the artistic public wanted something which reflected the drama of the battle, and perhaps the Edward Penny painting wasn't something which quite did that. And it's only in later years that more realistic and more simplistic paintings such as the Penny have begun to be properly appreciated. But here you can see obviously that these two very different artists have given two very different interpretations which are both extremely important to historians.